For this notebook entry, you will need your notebook, the square roots page, the perfect squares page, scissors, and glue. Take both pages and align them with each other so that you can cut both of them at once. Make sure that they are both facing the same direction and are right side up. Trim off the excess around the edges as shown. Turn to the next blank page in your notebook. The title for this entry is Square Roots and Squaring. Label the top left corner with the standard title 7 NS2. This is a 7th grade standard, the second standard in the number system section. Glue down the perfect squares page as shown. It may be a tight fit, right underneath or even slightly covering the title. When a base number has a power of 2, the result is a perfect square. This is talking about when a number has an exponent of 2, indicating that you are multiplying the number by itself, also called squaring the number. We are going to fill out the chart above like a multiplication chart, except we are only going to fill out the multiplication facts where we are multiplying a number by itself. The first perfect square is 1 times 1 equals 1. Next, 2 times 2 equals 4. 3 times 3 equals 9. 4 times 4 equals 16, and so on. This is creating a diagonal line as we go down. At the bottom, we need to list the perfect squares through 12 squared. First off, 1 squared is 1. Then 2 squared is 4. This means 2 times 2 is 4, or 2 times itself is 4. Next, 3 squared is 9. 4 squared is 16. Fill in the list from our chart answers above. All that's missing is 11 squared, which is 121, and 12 squared, which is 144. Next, take the square roots page and make a fold across the top edge. This will create a horizontal flap along the top of the page. Put glue on the flap we just made. Glue this along the top edge of the perfect squares paper. Do your best to make sure the perfect squares notes are not covered by the glue flap, as well as the title. This allows us to still view the perfect square notes below. Let's add the learning goal into the top space of this page as shown. I can find the square root of perfect square integers. The area of this first square is 4. The area of this first square is 4, because it is composed of 4 individual square tiles. The length of one side of this figure is 2 tiles. It's 2 by 2. Finding the square root of a number is the opposite of squaring. So 2 squared, or 2 with an exponent of 2, equals 4. To do the opposite of this would be to find the square root of 4. The square root of 4 is 2. The larger square has an area of 16 because it is made up of 16 individual square tiles. The length of one side is 4 tiles. The square root of 16 is 4, and 4 squared is 16. These are called inverse operations because one undoes the other. This is a very important vocabulary term because it helps you describe the relationship between finding the square root and squaring. I will complete a few examples with you. I will check what the square root of 4 is using my multiplication chart from before. 2 times 2 is 4, so the square root of 4 is 2. When thinking about the number 49, I could check my chart or think about what times itself would give me 49. Think through your multiplication facts. 5 times 5 is 25, 6 times 6 is 36, 7 times 7 is 49. The square root of 49 is 7. No other multiplication facts count toward this, only think of numbers multiplied by their own self. Finish the rest of the practice set. Try to think of the answer using multiplication facts you've memorized. If you are unable to think of it, You can lift the page to check out the chart. Don't forget to go to your table of contents and add this notebook entry and its page numbers.